Hi, I'm Emily Barnum, one of the guidance counselors here at Swampscott High School, director of the department. We've been interviewing our teachers about how to prepare for mid-year exams, and today we have Miss Rogers, one of our fabulous math teachers, and she's here to talk about organization and preparation for the upcoming mid-year exams. We're really excited today. Thanks for coming.
Well, thanks for having me. I've done this for a while, and I'm just going to give the students and the parents a few tips on how to get your child ready for their mid-year exams and finals as well.
Yeah, great.
So number one on my list is organization. So this is what I see sometimes in school. Backpacks, where everything is mixed together. English, my kids can't find their homework. I say, can you get out your homework? But their math papers are mixed up with their English papers and their history papers and their science papers. So number one is key. Number one is organization, which is key. And what I'd like you to do, and I hate to tell you parents, but I've told them to take over your dining room table. So this is my mini dining room table. Now they don't have to do this until after the first of the year. So you can have your nice Christmas parties and New Year's parties, but after the first of the year, they own the dining room table. If you have multiple children, you might want to put in the extra piece to the table to make it a little bit bigger.
Okay.
All right, so what we do is this. First thing, we organize all our subjects in different piles. So this might be math, this might be history, science, and English, and we're going to spread it around the dining room table.
And color code it. You're
And
suggesting color code.
exactly.
Okay.
So you can see I've got everything organized in nice clips. I also have bought file cards, and this file card could be for science. So they're color coded here. This is just one way to study, is to use file cards. They're not for everyone, but sometimes it's great for English, for studying vocabulary, to put math problems on.
So after you review your notes, you might put some extra tidbits on your index cards.
Exactly. So what you want to do is, for example, in math, I like the kids to organize chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. Organize your quizzes and tests. Same thing with your other subjects. So it's organized, it's neat, it's in the right order. Okay, so once we finish the organization and we've taken over your dining room table, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start 2 weeks in advance. No, not the night before exams. It's too late. You cannot cram in a whole semester of history in one night.
Right. Okay, so wait till after the holiday break. Then set up shop in the dining area.
Correct.
Okay.
So we're going to start on January 6th, Saturday, January 6th.
Perfect.
And everything is going to be set up in the dining room. And we're going to get up. We're going to get up early. Oh, the one thing I wanted to add for you two parents is because we're getting organized, we also want our bedroom organized because a messy room leads to messy studying. So you want to feel good about yourself. So organize your room, get it all neat.
Great suggestion.
All right. So now we're going to get up, and Saturday morning we're going to start. Pick a subject, any subject. It could be your worst subject. It could be something you really feel like you need extra work in. Let's start with history. There's usually a lot of information you need to learn for history, or at least know. So you're going to start 2 hours on Saturday morning, and you're going to spend that time studying history. Start with chapter 1. Your history teacher may have given you a study guide. And let's say you do 2 pages, but spend at least 2 hours and put the phone away. The phone is off in another room. You need 2 hours of total focus.
So no Instagram or...
No, nothing. You just have your history in front of you. If you don't want to do 2 hours, at least do 1.
Okay.
So study for 2 hours, then you need a break. You might do 3, it depends on the student. So take your break, go for a walk, go meet your friends for lunch, go to basketball practice, do something. Then you're going to come back and you're going to go to another subject for the next 2 hours, or maybe 1 hour each subject. So if you spend 6 hours on that Saturday, you might have notes that you've taken. Okay? At the end of Saturday, at the end of the day, go through the notes that you've done for each of the classes that you've studied. Then go to bed. Get a good night's sleep. Get up Sunday morning, we're going to do the same thing. But before you start, you want to read through your notes from Saturday. So they're fresh, a little review, and then you're going to start, let's say, on chapter 3 and 4. And we're going to do that on Sunday. So I'm sorry, this is a lot of studying, but I'm telling you, it works. The kids will feel so good about themselves, and they'll be prepared, and they won't be anxious because we know when they get anxious, they tend to forget.
Right. Yeah, that working memory really slows down.
Exactly. So we're going to start. And the other great thing about starting that weekend, the 2 weeks in ahead, is that when you're studying and preparing and organizing, you might then have that next week to ask questions to your teachers.
Yeah, that came up with our conversation with Ms. Thomas, how important it is to really ask questions of your teachers before.
Right, and there's nothing worse than a child coming in the day of an exam saying, I have no clue how to do this. I'm thinking to myself, it's a little late now. You know, we've been reviewing all year. You should have asked me this before the morning of the exam.
So if I could ask a question, so let's say, for example, for Algebra 1, Advanced College Prep, in general, what's your, you know, we won't hold you accountable for a specific time frame, but in general, how many hours should students really spend on review for the mid-years?
Well, I give them packets, so really it's going to depend on how comfortable they feel with the material. Obviously, some students are going to need to spend more time than others. And I always tell them, I'll give them packets, and I always tell them to start with Chapter 1 and then go to Chapter 2. And some, and I've already started with them, actually, because all my tests are cumulative, and we did a packet today in class.
Excellent.
And some of the students move faster than others. So I guess that's when you think about the hours that you're putting in on the weekends, you have to really pick the subject that, you know, is hardest for you and maybe spend more time on that.
Right.
The other thing I was going to say, then the following weekend you have 3 more days because they have that Monday off. So you have 3 full days to continue studying and reviewing. So every time you go back to your table, you should review what you did the day before.
Yep. So it's not lost.
So, and then the night before, you're just, all you're really doing, you're not really studying, you're just going through everything you've already learned and know. And then you get a good night's sleep, you drink a lot of water in the morning, and you're coming in
ready to go.
All fresh.
Yeah, so that's great. Okay, so if I remember, so after the holiday break, I can set up shop. January 6th is the first Saturday. At least gives me a couple weeks. I'll get organized, I'll color code everything. I'll do some review, I'll spend a few hours. It's important to take a break and get some rest, but really make sure I'm connecting with my teachers too. And clean my bedroom. I love that suggestion.
Your room, and please, parents, don't take your kids away on a ski trip. I have so many children in the past that said, oh, well, I can't study this weekend, I'm going skiing with my parents. The weekend before exams, that long weekend before exams, is really not the time to go on a ski trip. They really need that time to study.
Okay, well, thank you so much for your feedback today. I really appreciate it.